What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dre, this is Dre Created, and in today's video I'm here to tell you that I know you're tired, but you gotta keep going. I know you're frustrated and you've been pushing for so long without any reprieve. I know that you're burnt out. I know that you're feeling stuck and you're losing faith in the process. You gotta keep going. You can't afford to quit. You've come too far. Don't you want to see what's on the other side of all of the effort that you've put in up until this point? You owe it to yourself to see it through. You owe it to yourself to continue to push through the process. You owe it to yourself to continue to fight for the life that you want. You owe it to yourself to see exactly what you're capable of becoming. On the other side of this frustration is success. On the other side of this frustration is triumph. You can do it. You can't turn back now. You've already put in too much. What's the alternative? If you stop right now, if you give up, if you quit, look into the future. How are you going to feel knowing that you didn't see it through? How are you going to feel knowing that you didn't give it your all? Because that's the only way you fail. The only way you fail is by quitting. Look around you. Look at the laws of nature. There's seasons to everything. You can't just be in some eternal winter. You can't just experience sunshine forever. Every single sunset is followed by a sunrise. It's the law of reciprocity. You get out what you put into it, and your returns may not be linear. You may not see the returns of your efforts today. You may not see the returns of your efforts tomorrow, but at some point when that pressure builds up, it's bound to reach a turnover. At some point after making all of that effort, you're bound to see results sooner or later. You just have to commit to it long enough to see the results. You can't give in to how you feel. You have to be stronger than your feelings. You have to really exercise your mind over matter. Deny your senses. If you know that you're unaligned, if you know that your reality isn't reflecting who you are inside, if you know that your reality isn't telling you the truth, then you have to deny your reality. Have you ever considered why we close our eyes when we meditate? Have you ever considered why we close our eyes when we pray? It's because you're working from the inside out. So you can't focus on what's outside of you to tell you who you are. You can't focus on what's outside of you to tell you the truth. The truth exists from within. And so when you close your eyes, that's where you find the truth. When you close your eyes, you deny your senses. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. You know who you are. You know what you're working towards. You know that life gets better than this. Life gets better than where you are right now. You know that you being stuck right now or you feeling stuck right now is temporary, because everything is temporary. Life itself is temporary. The very breath that you take every single day is temporary. It's all temporary. Your feelings are temporary. So you can't make lifelong lasting decisions based off of how you feel right now. You have to have a long-term vision. You have to be able to pull out, zoom out, and look at the greater picture, look at the bigger picture. You can't be so focused on how you feel in this moment just because things aren't unfolding in the timing that you wanted it to unfold. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. When you fall asleep at night, your mind doesn't know the difference between being awake and being in a dream world. So if you focus all of your attention and your thoughts on unfavorable outcomes, that's the exact reality that you're convincing your mind that you're a part of. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. Your mind does not know what's real from what's not real. You have to define what's real. When you fall asleep each night, your mind doesn't know the difference between being awake in the physical world versus being asleep. When you have a bad dream, you wake up crying, you wake up panting, you wake up terrified. And it's because your mind couldn't tell the difference between the tangible world and the mental world. You have to learn how to dream while you're awake. You have to learn how to dream with your eyes wide open. You are the alchemist. You are the magician. You can create. You are the author of your story. You can't let your mind think that this world is bigger than you. You can't let your mind think that success isn't yours because it's already done. Everything made has already been made. Everything in existence already exists. Everything that you want for yourself, it already exists. There is a version of you that already has everything that you want. That version of you did not succumb to your present circumstances. That version of you didn't fold underneath the hardships. That version of you persevered. That version of you chose a reality that was self-serving. That version of you knew how to trust yourself, because that's where confidence comes from. Confidence is trusting yourself. Confidence is faith in the process. You can't argue with math. You can't argue with the laws of nature. You can't argue with what's true. What's real can't be threatened, and you decide what's real. That's your your power. Nobody tries to struggle. They just find themselves struggling, right? So you're not, in the same breath, you're not gonna try to succeed. You're going to do as success does, and as a result, you are successful. In the same way people do as failures do, and they find themselves failing in life. There is no trying. There is only being. You must be the master of your mind, because your mind creates your reality. You can do it. Think of everything else in your life that you've overcome. Think of every other moment in your life where you felt confused and you didn't know how you would make it through it, but you made it through it. You made it through it. Every problem that you were intimidated by, somehow you overcame that problem, right? And in the same way you've overcome every single obstacle that you've had to face before, you're gonna overcome this one too. And you're gonna look back and you're gonna be glad that you kept to it. You're gonna be glad that you kept your word to yourself. Keep your promise to yourself. The promises that you made to yourself, keep those promises. That's why you're here. You're here to keep your word. If you don't trust in your word, how do you expect for other people to trust in your word? If you say this is who I am, and if you behave in a way that contradicts who you are, nobody's gonna take you seriously. Nobody's gonna believe you. You ought to walk and talk and act as though it is already done, because it is already done. Every other person that you know that has touched any kind of success in this life, they've had their hardships too. They've had their hard times too. They didn't always have it figured out. The only way through it is through it. You can't avoid these things. As I said before, the laws of nature, you can't argue with the laws of nature. There is negativity everywhere. Our very genetic makeup, everything around you has a negative element. When you look at the atom has both a positive and a negative charge. You cannot argue with that. It is what it is. But you know what else? An atom consists of a positive charge too. Atoms consist of both negative and positive charges, and you are what you focus on. So if you focus on all of the negativity in this life, you will get negative results. If you focus on all of the positive things in this life, you will get positive results. You have to switch your perception. Focus on the variables that you can control, rather than having the variables you can't control you. I hope this message resonated within you. I hope you find value in what I had to say today, and I hope that you keep your promises to yourself and see your journey through. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have a great day.